Caller Audit LA, if you could go ahead and unmute yourself, you have 2 minutes for general public comment.
Yes, good morning. Here we are again, week after week, twice a week after week, and we're still having the same issues. And I'm trying to figure out why. Okay, why is Scientology still getting permit after permit granted to them? Even though, like a 4th Street closure or a 4th sidewalk closure, I'm not completely sure yet on the details, but for something that they're having on their own property, why do they have to shut everything down? And let me see, we still have the fire lane issues. There's no fire lane as of yet, even though they have more what looks like unpermitted activity on, after the quake from yesterday. They have scaffoldings up. We don't see a permit. Also, the planters, which I have been told have been ordered to be removed, have not been removed. So I'm asking why, and I'm asking all of you a direct question. A, are you Scientologists yourselves? B, are you safe pointed by Scientology to the point where you will not do what's in the best interest of the public? Or C, are you so afraid of Scientology because you know what they do? When if you're considered an enemy of Scientology, they found that out. The police and the prosecutors found that out when it came to the Danny Masterson case. So I'm trying to figure out what it is that's keeping you from doing your jobs. And in the meantime, and since you won't do your jobs, I'm asking every one of you to resign, to step down, and to allow people to come into this position that will do what's right for the people. The people want their street back. The people want safety fire lanes. The people don't want a bunch of planners that are ADA non-compliant. They don't want unpermitted work going on in their area. It's dangerous. And you won't do it. You will sit there and interrupt me when my time is up, or if I'm not on agenda items, if I'm not speaking on the,
2 minutes.
you'll
you,
quit
caller.
to do your job.
All right, our next public comment on the Zoom, we have caller Mona M. If you could go ahead and unmute yourself, you'll have 2 minutes.
Thank you for the time to allow to speak. I don't think that I could say it more eloquently than the previous speaker just did. L. Ron Hubbard Way. The fire lane is not open. And the other day, when I spoke in front of you, I was giving you credence and I was giving you an accommodation for the fact that the Department of Justice ADA violations were going to be removed, those planners. And unfortunately, I looked yesterday and they're still there. And there were supposed to at least be notifications put on the planners. No notifications on the planners. And I'm just wondering, where are you as a board? Where are you as a city attorney and the attorney of choice? Where are you on making sure that the law is being enforced? Thank you, and I yield back my time.
Thank you, caller. And we have another hand raised on the Zoom. Caller Yvonne, do you have general public comment today or comment on one of our agenda items?
Yes, I do have comment today, and I would like to comment on all the issues that remain on the agenda.
Okay, great. You can go ahead and get started on your general public comment. You'll have 2 minutes.
Okay. My general public comment is also regarding the permits and situations dealing with the labor specifically utilized by the Church of Scientology. And the scaffolding, as an example, was put up yesterday. There were 2 men from the contractor that drove the truck and delivered the equipment, but in assistance, they received assistance of 4 members of the Sea Organization. Now, the primary concern is those members are paid $50 a week. Some of those are members that are welcomed into this country under the R1 visa program, and very specifically, they cannot do particular types of labor, and these municipal, state, and federal labor laws are not being given the oversight that your agency is obligated to provide when it comes to the performance of uh, uh, permitted activities, whether that's on public property or on the private property of the Church of Scientology. These category of workers should not be doing heavy construction. And the absence of posted permits continues to be a problem. That concludes my general comment today, but I do want to speak to the other issues on the agenda.
Thank you, caller. We'll call on those when we get to those items. Thanks.
Okay, and we have general public comments. I have a comment card from John.
I wish to thank the city clerk's office because of this commission. They provide me your agenda in Braille. You've gone out of your way to make sure I don't have it. Second issue, I've dealt with the city attorney's office. It appears someone wanted a workplace violence restraining order against me because how I speak and my tone and so forth. And I said, that's fine, but I just want to make sure this individual that wants a work violence restraining order against me knows what an anti-SLAPP is. And I would hire one of my colleagues to represent me to get the money. And that means if this individual has a spouse, we're in a community property state, and anti-SLAPP goes against everything. And I'm pretty good at what I do. So discrimination is not very nice. This board has done nothing to accommodate me to obtain Braille. The city clerk's office spoke to, I think it's TJ, and his attitude, the person's attitude is, I don't recall, I don't recall, I don't recall, I don't recall. So they went out and bought a Braille machine, not at my request, to stop this nonsense. This is one of the departments that they thought was nonsense. The Department of Neighborhood Empowerment was another nonsense department. But you've gone out of your way to make sure you don't accommodate someone with visual impairment. The code says alternative format, but it appears you just don't care. Just don't care. So to the person that asked for the work violence restraining order, do it. I encourage you. And make sure to ask your attorney what an anti-SLAPP motion is, which you will be personally liable. And I'm very good at debtor's exams and doing everything. Thank you.
All right, and we have another person for 2 minutes with the letter B. We have another person. If you're asking the question, then you must know it's you.
The card said bitch.
I don't need to say the word. I can just say B.
The card read
Your
bitch,
time is running.
bitch.
Your
That's
time
the
is
public
running.
comment card, right?
And this is your first and
I
only
know,
warning.
but I'm advising you to read the fucking public comment card because it's a public record. It's a public record.
Take up your 2
Don't be a
minutes any
dumb
which
bitch.
way that you'd like.
Madam Attorney, correct the bitch and tell her it's a public document. It's for the record.
He's off his meds.
Thank you. So, understanding public works, let me give you some ideas about parks, for example. We all know who Federal Judge David O. Carter is, right? Federal Judge Carter. In his debate with Steve Soboroff, a former one-time LA Park Commissioner, what were the obstacles? A former commissioner was depriving the public, meaning veterans, disabled like myself, and other members of the public who are non-disabled in circumstances where these medians, these obstacles like in sidewalks and streets are hindering our safety and our pedestrian views of how to walk on a fucking public sidewalk. The dumb cunt, your mayor, the dumb bitch who grandstands, the fucking asshole that don't do shit but fail, Trump! And the reason behind that, and let me read it into the record. I want the easiest way out. I want to get done without all these privileged people going to their privileged lawyers, going to their privileged senators, going to their privileged council members, and going to Congress. Fuck Congress. The DQ, America. You're done. You done shit. You're a failure to society. You're a failure to humanity. God hates you. You're going to hell. Snyder versus Phelps, for the record.
All right, Ms. Zatorski, do we have any other public comments?
No, that's the end of our public comment today.
Then let's get started with item number 1. We have a person with the letter B for public comment. Person with the letter B for public comment. All right, I called that 3 times and they're not here. All right, then let's go on to Zoom.
You called my name? B. I be him to speak.
Okay, go ahead. You have the floor.
So many times the issues about the First Amendment. Personally, I am the First Amendment. I steer the First Amendment. I'm the narrative of the First Amendment. And I direct the directions of this First Amendment from month to month on the basis of non-discrimination. And the reason is because the mayor's pursuant to Executive Directive number 3 regarding, is that Villa Ragosa, the dumb dick former mayor series? I'm not sure, but Mariposa landscapers, anyone can do a job in landscaping. Look at me, dark, handsome, and have the ability to maintain my property, keep it clean, do the greatest job ever in landscaping, trim the trees, trim the brush, pull the weeds, smoke a little weed here, smoke a little weed there, and have all this enjoyment in life only because I know what Grand Canal and the Bologna Lagoon look like. It looks like shit. So if you really have a maintenance for this type of work, I think I can do a better job than most people here. Matter of fact, I am the best. God told me. God told me that I'm the best mother for the job. And that's why I'm here today in protest. I want more than just one opinion about Mariposa Landscapes Incorporation. I want several others posted in the papers so we know what kind of up business we're getting.
Is that it?
That was our public comment in person for item 1. We have 2 more on the Zoom, so we'll go ahead
Okay, go right ahead,
and
please.
take those. Caller on the Zoom, Audit LA, you'll have 2 minutes for item number 1.
Yes, first point of clarification. I hope we weren't muted to suppress free speech. As much as I'm repulsed by the speech, I hate it. I am a proponent of free speech, and you don't have a right to press the mute button. That being said, on this agenda item, I am going to ask that you be mindful, which is asking a lot because you guys have not been mindful so far, about the ADA community when it comes to the canals. I am requesting that everything be made ADA compliant, and I'm going to ask a special request that you put all signage in Braille. There's every sign, by the canals, if there's any kind of anything for the public, I'm going to ask that you put it in Braille. I am not going to forget our visually impaired ADA brothers and sisters. So I'm going to ask you again, put it in Braille. On the and on this agenda item, on this project, I want Braille all over the place. I want every sign in Braille, and I want every sign in Braille. Okay? And I want it in Braille. I want it in Braille. I want signs in Braille. Okay? Put the signs in Braille, please. You can tell me when my 2 minutes is up. I want it in Braille.
This
I
is for
want
the
it in Braille.
landscape, Mariposa landscape.
Yes, I want all the landscaping. I want
Please stick
all
to the item at hand.
orders in Braille. I want
This
everything
is
in
your
Braille
first
regarding
warning.
this. Now, I'll get back the rest of my time because I only have 10 minutes. but I wanted everything related to this in Braille. Thank you.
City Attorney, if you can please clarify.
All public comment on agenda items must be restricted to the agenda item, or else it's
That's
disruptive
what I'm
as
talking
noted.
about.
You can
I'm
turn her
talking
off,
about on
please.
the canal.
That's 2 minutes. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks. And there's no loud noises during this meeting for interruption. That's, if, City Attorney, if you can just like make note of that. This is the second warning for the person who's been submitting comment cards with the letter B.
And has been making noises and interrupting the conduct of the meeting otherwise. Understood.
Yeah. You have not been called up to speak.
I heard the letter B.
You can please go get seated.
Oh, okay. I was mistaken. I thought I heard.
This is your second warning.
For what? What did I do, lady? I asked. I heard my name B called, and I'm up here to ask.
You're making noises in the back and it's interrupting our meeting. And I asked for no noises.
We have one more public comment on the Zoom for item 1.
Okay.
Caller Yvonne, if you have public comment on item number 1, please go ahead. You'll have 2 minutes.
Thank you. The Venice Canal project,
Please
I
stick to the
understand
item at
its
hand.
currentness.
This is a First Amendment for a personal service contract for Mariposa Landscape, nothing to do with the Venice canals. City Attorney, if you can
Okay.
please correct as well.
It's a landscaping contract associated with the Venice canals, but as long as the comment is on the topic.
Got it.
It is on the topic of the Venice
It is on
canals
topic. My
and
apologies.
any future contract. The ADA compliance is important, but I'm also concerned about the development of the long-term goal of the wetlands and those places where liquefaction and raising sea levels need to be addressed. I understand the temporary nature of this current contract, but I'm asking the board to have a longer view in regards to wetlands and areas subject to liquefaction. Thank you.
Thank you, caller. That's the end of our public comments for
right.
item 1.
All right, then for item 1, we have Mr. Hector Banuelos, so I'll just read the item into the record.
Caller Audit LA, you'll have 2 minutes to speak on item 2.
Yes, hi. I would like to speak to the architects that are working or building or designing the Vision Theater. I love theaters. I'm glad to see theaters being built. It's funny how we're speaking about Braille today and we're talking about Vision Theater. So again, I hope everything related to this item, including architects, the papers, everything is in Braille for our blind people to be, our visually impaired people to be able to read and know what's going on, to be able to enjoy the theater. You know, sometimes signs are posted up, whatever. Please make sure it's in Braille. Okay. I also want to make sure that the planters outside are ADA compliant, so people can get in and off of their transit vehicles without having to have to go blocks away because it's not ADA compliant. Because we know if they do that, we can come back here for a million years and you're not going to do anything. So I also want to speak on the budget. Why is the budget always goes up? Does it ever go down? That's what I want to know. Does it ever go down? Do they ever give money back? We all have to live within our budgets, right? I mean, and our city budget's not a whole, like it all goes to LAPD. Let's just be honest. They get all of it. They get all the gifts. They get all of it. So we have a smaller piece of the pie for, actual things like theaters and bridges and streets and ADA compliant sidewalks, potholes, repair from earthquakes, etc. So can you please ask everyone that comes before here to be mindful of budgets? Can you please continue to ask tough questions? And then can you please provide Braille to our visually impaired people who come to these meetings? I yield back the rest of my time.
Thank you, caller. We have another public comment on the Zoom. is caller Yvonne. If you could go ahead and unmute yourself.
You unmuted
Hello.
instead.
Yvonne?
Yes.
Okay, go ahead. Do you like to?
Presume that I have read the entire packet, not just the 2 pages summary, when I make my comments. In this case, the 2-page summary suggests that there is an amendment price increase of a little over $11,000. And in the summary numbers, the change is not specified as to what is the cause of the change estimate. And the number 800,330,432 is evident in one of the tables, but the original number is not shown. So the chart is not communicative to the public trying to make a fair assessment. In addition, on the complete packet, pages 476 to 496 are not legible. And therefore, I suggest that you put aside this item until the entire packet can be reviewed by the public. Thank you.
Thank you, caller.
Okay, thank you. Is that all for the Zoom?
Yes, for the
Okay.
Zoom comments.
Great. All right, then we have another card. We have a card for item number 2 with the letter B.
Is that my turn? Lady? Hey, lady, is that my turn?
It
Well,
says my name's
here's the
Rachel.
issue here. The issue is this the Renaissance era? Because you're putting up more art, more statues, and it's all fucking worthless. And the reason is because you have people who vandalize the shit. People don't give anymore. People don't have an idea the value of what art does for my mind and for your stupidity as ignorant, belligerent assholes that don't realize that the only art at a time that was art was Renaissance art. Let's use a name, Michelangelo. Yeah, the great artistic man of our time. He talked about a budget, but he was paid to do the job. He wasn't coursed. He wasn't paid under the table. He wasn't bribed. Do you not understand that, Miss President? He wasn't bribed. This city is paid and bribed to put up shit in our communities, in our neighborhoods, because you give us shit. Not like the West Side, those pricks in Beverly Hills have more art that looks better than the shit you're putting over here with others. So if you want to call me dirty, then let's just say I'm a Jew. But the issue here, as I brought out, is that the revised task order, as you see this budget, as I heard in the budget, doesn't reflect a contingency because there's overcosts that go into art for displaying it, exhibiting it. That should be included, not this fucking measly chump change of 821, 260 to 833, $100,000. Fucking chump change. And you're fucking stupid. Provide us ADA compliance with telecommunication on the
That's 2
TV
minutes.
monitor,
That's 2 minutes.
dumbass.
That's the end of our public comment for item 2.
All right, thank you. All right, so item number 2 is joint report with BOE and BCA for all districts, and it's revised task order solicitation number 104 and 106 under contract amendment number 5, SFSY Architects, recommending that the board authorize the city engineer to issue a revision for the task number 104 to FSY Architects, Inc., increasing the budget authority from $821,260 to $833,432 for architectural engineering services for the Vision Theater Manchester Junior Center Arts Project. And number 2, authorize the city engineer to issue a revision for the task order number 106 to FSY, increasing the budget authority from $946,000 to $1,133,828 to provide architectural, engineering, design, and construction administrative services for the project phase numbers 2, 3, 4, and 5. And number 3, approve the revised, never mind, just those two. Go ahead. Yeah, Mr. Fierce, sorry about that. Okay. Then we have an oral report by Mr. Phillips. And this is.
And sorry, before Mr. Phillips comes, we do have public comment on item number 4 on the Zoom.
Okay.
So we'll take caller audit LA. You'll have 2 minutes on item number 4.
Yes, hi. I don't know what's going to be in this report because, we always go first. So I am going to ask that Mr. Phillips please put the following in his report for me. L. Ron Hubbard they have a permit A to redo the bricks or to fix and grout the bricks on L. Ron Hubbard Way. We love our bricks, beautiful and nice. That's fine. The public is okay with that. What we don't like is that Scientology uses their volunteer ministers to do the work. These people work 110 hours for like $47 a week. That is not allowed by the law. The law, which I know you guys don't really like to follow when it's related to Scientology, but can you please discuss that? Also, the planters that are not ADA compliant, yet federal law, you don't want to comply because it's Scientology. That's why I'm starting to think you're all Scientologists or you're all scared of Scientology or something. I don't know. I'm trying to figure it out because for the life of me, I cannot figure out why you're allowing this ADA non-compliance to continue. So if you can please address that. I would also like you to address the de facto street vacation that is being given to them since June 1st, going all the way almost to October now, and with their permit A's. So I want to ask Keith Mosey and Timu Yanis to please step down because you are giving Scientology such complicit and explicit favoritism at the expense of the community that is sick and tired of having these continuous closures. The community wants their street back. They want the harassment by pack security and all the security that Scientology has to end. The nurses want to cut through the street to get to Kaiser. They're sick of it. The neighbors want to walk through that beautiful street non-molested by security.
2 minutes.
Okay.
Thank you, caller. Our next public comment on the Zoom for item number 4 is caller Yvonne. You'll have 2 minutes on item number 4.
Thank you. In the report, I hope to have defined for me once and for all the definition of what is a major street improvement versus a minor street improvement. How does what entails the classification, and I would also like addressed the requirements and why they are not being done regarding the posting of permits in public view for the duration of any issued permit, be it a special event permit or a construction permit. I share the concerns about using underpaid labor on public property and the violation of the R1 visa status of people that we have invited into this country and are obligated to make sure that when they are here, they are treated well and not treated as slave labor. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, then we have an oral report on the status, for number 4, on the status of major upcoming street improvement projects by Mr. Phillips with the Bureau of Street Services.
Good morning.
Welcome.
How you doing, Vice President? Good morning, fellow commissioners. Nice color suit, Mr. Davis. Appreciate it. I would like to say once again for the record, my name is Langston Phillips. I'm a superintendent for street services with the renewal divisions of Streets LA. So this information is being provided so that we keep our public informed on our upcoming resurfacing projects and to minimize the impact on our community as well as any delays. For the additional information or concerns, they can contact our coordinating section for the Street Renewal Division, and the number is 213-847-3200.
Appreciate it. Thank you. All right, and then we will go on then to our last item, since item number 6 has been continued as well. We have an update on the forest management.
And we'll take our public comment on item 5 before
Okay.
we have our presenters. Caller Audit LA, you'll have 2 minutes to speak on item number 5.
Yes, hi. I wish more than just Commissioner Davis would ask questions. That being said, I'd like to talk about the canopies. We need our trees, but they also sometimes conflict with electric lines. Okay, a friend of mine this week showed a video of the long span of the electric line, different parts of it, actually on fire, and there's trees around. And we all know, like, you know, you can't put out that kind of fire with water. So the fire department was standing there waiting for, I guess, DWP to shut off the electricity. And first thing that came to my mind was, well, you know, thank God that on L. Ron Hubbard, their electric lines are underground. But they do have a lot of trees on like Fountain and that are overgrown. And I don't believe the electric lines are underground there. And so I'm thinking, what would happen if they went on fire with that big building that's already, you know, cracking from yet another earthquake, more damage, and we have a whole street that's blockaded from the fire department, you know, and how would that be handled? So I hope you take that into consideration, you know, when dealing with canopies, that the electric wires can catch trees on fire. Trees on fire can then catch buildings on fire, and buildings on fire, they do need water. Okay, unlike the wires, the actual buildings, um, things like that, they need, or if cars get caught on fire, they need water. Okay, and you really, it's really important to have emergency access. So even though L. Ron Hubbard, yes, their electricity may be underground, it would be nice to have that access though, so engines could maybe attack a fire from different angles.
Thank you, caller.
If
That's
could
2
happen.
minutes. Our next public comment on item number 5 is Yvonne. You'll have 2 minutes to speak on this item.
Thank you. And I want to thank you for your patience with us today. I travel and I am not blind yet, but I am getting there. And so and I'm a tall person. So I find a different aspect about the canopies, the undercut of the canopies over the sidewalks. I'm getting my head hit frequently, and part is I'm having to relearn to be more cautious because I'm losing my sight. But it would be beneficial if the trees under skirting was trimmed to at least 7 feet, maybe 8 feet. Maybe Shaquille O'Neal will visit us now and then. Forestry is important, and I do love the trees, but they do need to have a regular maintenance. Thank you.
Thank you, caller. That's the end of our public comment on item 5. I don't see any other hands raised.
Thank you. No more other calls. Okay, then this is item number 5, Office of Forest Management update. And go right ahead, Ms. Rachel Malrich. Welcome.